So you think you know the cost of living in Los Angeles? I promise you, you don't. Especially if you're moving to Los Angeles or curious about living in Los Angeles. Here in the Valley, living in Sherman Oaks, Encino, or Studio City comes with an LA lifestyle that's incredible, but the price tag, yeah, it hits harder than most people expect. All right, so everyone hears the same things. LA is expensive, LA's overpriced, LA's only for the rich people. But the real cost of living here, the monthly expenses, the stuff nobody prepares you for, the hidden costs that creep up, that's what I'm breaking down today. I'm Alan Taylor with Compass, and I'm the guy that families call when they want top dollar for their house or they're looking to buy in Sherman Oaks, Studio City, or Encino, California. If you're thinking about moving here or selling your home, or you're just curious why LA costs what it costs, this video will give you the kind of clarity that most people never get. All right, let's get into it. All right, so number one is housing prices in Sherman Oaks, Studio City, and Encino. People love the joke that every house in LA is $8 million and owned by a producer, and sure, we've got those, but the truth is a lot more nuanced, especially in the Valley. Let's talk the numbers, because this is where the biggest shock lives. The typical single family home in Sherman Oaks today, you're realistically in the $1.8 to $2.4 million range for something updated, move-in ready on a nice street. Studio City south of the boulevard, views and schools, easily to 2 to 3 million and up. Encino, listen, it's become its own luxury market. New construction routinely sells for $4 to $7 million and sometimes higher if you're in Lanai or the Royal Oaks pockets. Even condos aren't cheap. Most are between $550,000 to $750,000 depending on the building, the location, and the HOA. Now, if you're a seller watching this, here's what that means for you. People who buy in these neighborhoods have serious income, serious expectations, and they're looking for a lifestyle. Schools, commute, walkability, the vibe of the street. These things matter more than ever. Housing is the biggest line item, and it's the one everybody ultimately feels immediately. All right, so let's talk about the truth about taxes in California. Let's talk taxes, because this is where out-of-state buyers fall out of their chairs. California income tax is real, it's high and one of the highest in the nation. Top earners hit 13.3%. Middle earners feel it too. It's part of the cost of sunshine, opportunity, and the lifestyle. Sales tax, 10.25%, paying for a premium for almost anything you buy. But here's the silver lining, and it's a huge advantage for longtime homeowners. California property taxes are actually low relative to the home price. Prop 13 keeps most owners around 1.1 to 1.25% with a yearly cap. That means if you bought your home back in 1989 in Sherman Oaks for $250,000, you're paying for less in property tax today than someone who bought a starter home in Dallas. That's where LA homeowners build wealth the ridiculous way. You write appreciation for 10, 20, and 30 years while your property tax stays relatively the same. Now, if you're a seller in the Valley, this is part of your story. This is the equity that buyers dream about. All right, guys, so everyday costs that most people underestimate. Most people think LA is all about $10 lattes and $45 salads, but honestly, a latte is usually $5 to $6. Coffee Fix, Alfred, Blue Bottle, it's what you expect in a big city. A smoothie or an acai bowl, around $8 to $12. Breakfast at a casual cafe, $15 to $25. Dinner at a mid-range restaurant, $25 to $30. And yes, that's before tip. We do pay more for gas, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. In Sherman Oaks right now, you're paying anywhere from $5.50 a gallon. The Valley is so spread out. You're driving everywhere. I'm talking 100% of the time. The LA driver spends about 50 to 60 minutes per day commuting, depending on traffic, so gas costs add up fast. And the insurance isn't cheap either. You can expect $2,400 to $3,600 a year for a standard policy, depending on your zip code, age, driving record. There's maintenance, parking fees, your car budget can be significant. Public transportation does exist, but if you're living almost anywhere in Los Angeles, especially in Encino, Sherman Oaks, or Studio City, you're literally in your car 100% of the time. I can't think about the last time I walked anywhere in the Valley. And LA's metro system is limited. LA's buses aren't exactly convenient. There's utilities, groceries, household costs, all higher too. Expect electricity bills around $200 a month for a standard 2 to 3 bedroom home. Water, $100. Internet, $100+ Grocery shopping for a family of 4, easily $300 a week, especially if you prefer organic or specialty items. It all adds up. But this is LA. We choose the lifestyle, the weather, and the convenience over a train system. And honestly, for most of us, that trade-off is worth it. All right, so how much eating out in LA really costs? All right, let's talk about food, because this is honestly where your monthly budget starts creeping up. Lunch in LA, you're looking at $18 to $22 for a casual spot, unless you're hitting In-N-Out Burger or one of those quick taco spots. Then it's cheaper, but still, it all adds up if you eat out every day. And dinners, especially in Studio City and Sherman Oaks, Encino, yeah, that's a whole different story. Real examples. At Sushi Note in Sherman Oaks, you and your wife can easily hit $120 without even ordering the sake. Over in Studio City, Firefly cocktails, appetizers, and entree, you're looking at $150 to $200. Then there's your, casual, not too crazy nights, spots like Mazzala, Mercado, or Pisana. Most couples spend easily $60 to $90 just for a simple night out. And if you can even think about Beverly Hills or West Hollywood, brace yourself. The bill will make you question all of your life choices. Groceries, same story. Trader Joe's, totally normal. Gelson's, also fairly normal. In LA terms, Erewhon, a whole nother level. One smoothie can cost you $17. Drink 2 a week, and congrats, you've just financed a compact car without even realizing it. And don't get me started on specialty salads or avocado toast or imported health snacks. You can spend $200 a week without even blinking. Coffee, snacks, delivery apps, Uber, DoorDash. On the weekend, that $20 lunch quickly turns to $40 or $50 a person. And don't forget tipping. It's LA, so add 20% onto everything. So you're not just moving to LA just for visiting. Food alone can be one of the biggest shocks to your wallet. And combine that with rent, gas, and lifestyle costs, and suddenly that, dream LA lifestyle looks a little bit more like a little more expensive on paper than it does on Instagram. The cost of utilities and insurance and some other costs. So, utilities are sneaky expensive. Most people underestimate those costs. Electricity is about 28 cents per kilowatt per hour. If you run your AC nonstop from June through September in Sherman Oaks, or you're definitely gonna hit $300 to $400, sometimes even $500 a month in the hotter months. Water averages around $120 to $180 per month for a family of 4. Higher if you're watering bigger properties with land, and we're in a drought surcharge season. Insurance costs. This one surprises most people. The average policies are expensive and run between $2,000 and $3,000 a year, and it's even more in high fire zones, sometimes a lot more. And these costs, they all add up. All right, so the most shocking cost of all for young people is childcare in Los Angeles. The expense that shocks almost everyone, even longtime locals, and it shocked me, is childcare. And I mean, it's not just a little sticker shock, it's like a budget game changer. If you hire a full-time nanny in Los Angeles, like we did, it's like $30 an hour. If you do the math, it's like $36,000 a year. We're talking private school tuition costs for your 1-year-old. If you're looking at higher end daycare centers or Montessori type schools, in the Valley, you can expect anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 per month. That's more than the monthly mortgage on a lot of homes in other parts of the country. And if you have, 2 kids under 5, well, congratulations. You're essentially paying for another full-time salary, just to have childcare coverage. And it's not just the tuition. There are, enrollment fees, supply fees, occasional holiday fees, uniforms, and other activities. And sellers, this is the critical context, because this is who your buyer pool really looks like today. Millennials, young families with small children, dual income professionals, who need convenience and reliability, people who prioritize safety, top schools, parks, a sense of community. These are the buyers that are willing to compete. Homes in your neighborhoods that checks all the boxes. They're prepared to stretch their budget, to make it happen. So understanding this not only explains, local pricing pressures, but it also helps position your property in a way that appeals exactly to the people who can afford and want it. All right, so how much do you actually need to live comfortably? You're gonna see a ton of numbers online, 160 to 190,000, 200,000, all over the place. But here's the truth: to live comfortably, meaning not stressed every month, in Sherman Oaks, Studio City, or Encino, realistically looking at a household income of between $150,000 to $200,000 a year minimum. You really can't make it work unless you have a huge down payment. Tons of people do, but not all. And some have to make trade-offs, like smaller homes further away from work, with longer commutes. And some opt for roommates to help pay for the mortgage for the first 5 years or so. In LA, lifestyle is pretty much dictated by which the neighborhood you live in, and you pick, and how much space you want, and of course how much you can afford. The good news is there's a place for almost everyone. All right, so the real question: is living in LA really worth it? All right, is LA expensive? Yes, but it's not the most expensive city in America. And the daily lifestyle costs, coffee, groceries, eating out, travel, are not wildly different from other major metros. The real difference is what do you get in return? Weather, culture, opportunity, amazing neighborhoods. In the Valley, Sherman Oaks, Studio City, Encino, you get space, community, schools, and a lifestyle that you cannot replicate anywhere else. So the question isn't, is it expensive? The question is the lifestyle worth what you pay for? And for most people who settle here, the answer is yes. And we all know the old saying, you get what you pay for. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you're thinking about selling your home in Sherman Oaks, Studio City, or Encino, or if you're already living here, planning your next move, I'd love to be a resource for you. That's what I do every single day. I live, eat, and breathe real estate, helping families maximize their sales price, making smart decisions, and to move with confidence. I'm your trusted advisor, okay? Call me, I'm always around. I'm happy to help whenever I can. I'm Alan Taylor. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment for more real estate videos coming your way. Thanks so much.